On November 29, 1947, the General Assembly of the United Nations passed the unfair resolution of dividing Quds between its original residents and usurper Zionists. One of the articles of resolution, 181, asked for making Quds an international city. It wasn't the first time that the plan of making Quds international was proposed. After Palestinians' uprising in 1936, British colonialist government dispatched Bill Inquiry Committee to Palestine. At the end of its mission, this committee recommended supporting the partitioning of Palestine. It recommended that Quds, Bethlehem, and Nazareth remain under the control of British government and a special regime be adopted for ruling on them. In the partitioning plan for Palestine, the General Assembly of the United Nations stated that the Quds had to have a specific condition and identity and had to be governed internationally under the supervision of the United Nations. This condition included the municipality of Quds and its nearby villages and towns. Moreover, it was decided that a supervision council be appointed for Quds to pass special laws for governing this city and creating religious coexistence in the city while considering its exceptional religious issues. According to this resolution, Quds had to be a non-military city, and its governor had to be from neighboring countries which had passed a resolution for partitioning Palestine. The other articles of the resolution addressed such issues as an elected parliament, stabilizing legal conditions of the holy places, guaranteeing the freedom in assessing these places, and exempting the holy places from paying tax. Since partition plan for Palestine denied Palestinians' rights, Palestinian people denounced it as unfair. However, Zionists started to implement it delightfully and established a government in the land larger than what had been specified in the resolution. They continued their encroachments to take complete control of Beit al-Muqaddas. In December 1948, the General Assembly of the United Nations passed Resolution 194. One article of this resolution asked for a report about the status of Quds in international military structure and about establishment of the International Coordination Committee. Most of the content of this resolution is the repetition of Resolution 181. However, Resolution 194 emphasized the right of Palestinian refugees to return to their country. In contrary to the previous resolution, Zionists objected to this resolution because of its emphasis on the right of Palestinians to return, and they continue to object to it today. Palestinians also believe that Resolution 194 denies other rights in Palestine and Quds because it emphasizes the partitioning of Palestine and legalizes Zionists' encroachments to their country. In 1947, the General Assembly also appointed the Conciliation Committee to implement partition plan for Palestine and making Quds international. In the next step, it assigned the implementation of this plan to this commission. In March 1948, it announced that it had prepared the details of the international regime ruling on Quds. In early May, the head of the Mandate Council was assigned by the General Assembly to cooperate with British colonialist government, and the beneficiary sides had to investigate possible measure for supporting Quds and its residents and give their suggestions to the General Assembly as soon as possible. The Council prepared the draft of Quds government law. Zionists rejected the plan for making Quds international and announced Quds as their capital city. The only thing that the Mandate Council did was a mere objection. During 1950, this council took no practical measure and just bragged about its ambition to pass and enforce laws to govern Quds. Moreover, when this council announced its objective of changing the urban structure of Quds and asked Zionists to follow it, Zionists tried to create their own intended conditions in Quds. The plan for making Quds international continued, and powerful government apparently supported it, but no country took a step to implement this plan. The course of events in this regard is so meaningful that it seems that all this was no more than a game, and by this game powerful countries tried to give Zionists enough time to implement and complete their plan in the occupied Palestine.